Hello, and welcome to your grouped dictionaries lecture, where we're going to talk even more about dictionaries. Now, most of today is going to be spent in Atom, but what we're going to do is talk about functions that go with and modify dictionaries. All right, so we're going to have a dictionary called Tamagotchi, and we are going to write a bunch of functions to go with this dictionary. You can see the instructions up here. First, we're creating a dictionary called Tamagotchi, already done. And then it's going to have keys for health, love, hunger, thirst, play, and tired, which represents like the needs and wants of the Tamagotchi. Hopefully all of you know what that is. It was like this little game that you could like play and feed this fake animal. Maybe you're a little too young for it, but hopefully you remember those because that's exactly what we're making right now. So now that we have our dictionary, we're going to write 4 functions that act on this dictionary. First, let's do the function medicine. So this should increase the health of the Tamagotchi dictionary by n, an argument to that function. It's basically going to tell us how many health points this medicine healed. All right, so to define the medicine function, we're going to say def medicine. There we go. First, we're going to give it I'm just going to have that short for Tamagotchi so I don't have to type it out every single time. And then the second argument is going to be n, which is how much the medicine heals your Tamagotchi. So we know that this function should heal the Tamagotchi, which probably means it should increase its health. So inside our function, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to say Tama bracket, and we're going to grab the key, or excuse me, the value with the key health, and we're going to say plus equals n. So we're going to take the medicine and increase the health of our Tamagotchi. Then let's go ahead and print out a nice little statement. We're going to say print you were healed plus string n plus health. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and have this function, and let's go ahead and try and run it. So we're going to say medicine, there we go, and then our Tamagotchi dictionary, and let's heal it 100 points because we're going to bring it from 0 all the way to 100. And then we'll go ahead and print out the Tamagotchi dictionary. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. We're going to say Python 3 dictionaries 25 underscore blank, beautiful. And we're going to say, okay, you were healed 100 health, and now the Tamagotchi has 100 health. Now remember, because dictionaries are mutable, just like with lists, what happens in a function actually still remains changed after the function. We can always change mutable objects, we just cannot create new objects inside of our function and expect them to be there when we're done. All right, I'm going to comment that out and let's work on the second function. The second function is sleep. This should decrease the tiredness of the Tamagotchi dictionary by 10 for each hour that the Tamagotchi sleeps, but tiredness should not go negative. Okay. Well, first of all, let's increase the tiredness of this Tamagotchi just to test it out. I'm going to say tiredness is 100. So we're going to say def sleep. And this is again going to take our Tamagotchi dictionary as an argument. And then another argument is the hours that they slept. Then we're going to go ahead and do what it asks. We're going to decrease the tiredness 10 for each hour that the Tamagotchi slept. So we're going to say Tama tired. We're going to grab the value at the key tired minus equals, and we're going to say hours times 10. Now it did say we cannot go negative in tiredness, so we're going to say if Tama tired is less than 0, Tama tired equals 0. So if it's negative, we're just going to go ahead and make it 0. And then at the end of our function, we're going to print a cute little message that says, you seem well rested now. So let's go ahead and test this out. We're going to print sleep Tamagotchi, and let's have him sleep for 2 hours. Then we're going to go ahead and print out the dictionary once it's done. All right, let's go ahead and run this, and you can see it printed out, you seem well rested now, and now our tiredness is only at an 80 instead of 100 because we slept 2 hours and got 10 tiredness points removed for each of those 2 hours. All right, and our next function is walk. This is going to take in a distance in miles that we walked, and it's going to increase love, hunger, and thirst in the Tamagotchi dictionary. We're going to increase love 2 for every mile that we walked, increase hunger by 10 for every mile walked, and increase thirst by 5 for every mile walked. Okay, so let's define this function. We're going to say def walk, and again, Tamagotchi dictionary, and then the number of miles that we walked. So we're going to say Tama love plus equals miles times 2. So we get 2 love for every mile. We're going to say Tama bracket hunger. Oops, there we go. Plus equals miles times 10. We get 10 hungry for every mile. And finally, Tama bracket thirst plus equals 5, or we'll do in the same order, miles times 5, because we get 5 thirst. Then at the end of our function, we'll say print what a great walk. All right, and let's go ahead and call our function. We're going to say walk Tamagotchi, and let's say we walk 3 miles. Then we'll print out Tamagotchi. There we go. Save and run. So we printed out what a great walk, and you can see that our love, hunger, and thirst all increased. Finally, we're going to write the feed function. The feed function is going to take in an argument for the number of cups of food we give our Tamagotchi, and it's going to decrease hunger by 10 for every cup of food given. So let's actually leave this out, and we will say def feed Tama cups, and then similarly to the walk, we're going to say Tama hunger, there you go, minus equals cups times 10, because we lose 10 hunger for every cup of food that we eat. Then we say if Tama hunger, there you go, is less than 0, just set it to 0, Tama hunger equals 0. So we're basically saying you can't have negative hunger. And then we'll print what a great meal. All right, and then let's go ahead and call this function. We're going to say feed Tamagotchi, and we'll feed him 1 cup of food for now, and then print out the dictionary, Tamagotchi. Okay, so basically what's going to run now is we're going to walk, and then we're going to eat, and we'll see how that both of them change the hunger. All right, so let's go ahead and run. Okay, so you can see that after our walk, we had 6 love, 30 hunger, 15 thirst. After we ate 1 cup of food, we still had 6 love and 15 thirst, but we had now only 20 hunger. All right, and last but not least, it asks us to have default arguments. So for all of the things that are not the actual Tamagotchi, I'm going to put a default argument. So for medicine, I'll say default is it heals 100. For sleep, I'm going to say the default is 0. For miles, we'll say the default is 0. And for cups, we'll say the default is 0. Beautiful. Now we have these awesome Tamagotchi functions, and you could use these one after another to kind of simulate having a Tamagotchi that you can have sleep, walk, feed, and you can give it medicine if it gets sick. So as you can see, it can be really fun and useful to have a dictionary that represents some type of object like a Tamagotchi, and then writing a bunch of functions that can mess with that dictionary, and we can basically create like our own tiny Tamagotchi game. In this example, we're going to do something a little more boring. We are going to make a dictionary for a student. It's going to have name, age, major, minor, year, classes, current classes, all, and clear status. And all of these things are going to be like facts or characteristics of our student. All right, so as you can see, it can be really fun to have a dictionary that represents something like a Tamagotchi and a bunch of functions that operate on that dictionary to basically make like a tiny mini Tamagotchi game. So this example is going to be a little more boring, but we're going to create a dictionary for a student that is going to have their name, age, major, minor, current classes, all the classes they've taken, and their COVID clear status. Then we're going to go ahead and write the following functions. Let's take a look at our dictionary first. So we can see we have student with all of those keys that we said before. So the first function is going to be rename. This is going to take in the dictionary for the student and a variable new name, and it's basically going to like say, oh, this is the student's new name. For instance, if you changed your name during school, you might have to do something like this. So we're going to say def rename, and we're going to say S for student and new name. And then we're going to go ahead and change their name. We're going to say S bracket name, because that's accessing their current value for name. and we're going to set it equal to new name. Then let's print out a message. We'll say print, we've updated your records to reflect your new name. All right, let's go ahead and call this. We're going to say rename student, and we'll call them Jenna. And then let's go ahead and print out the student dictionary. All right, let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so you can see we've updated your records to reflect your new name, and now the student dictionary has the value Jenna for the key name. Next, let's write the function end semester. This is going to take in the dictionary and it's going to remove all of their current classes because they're done, and it's going to add them to a list of all of their classes that they've taken and then make their current classes empty so that they can register for new classes next semester. So let's go ahead and say def end semester, take in the dictionary, and then we're going to, oh, that's actually the only argument that we need. Then we're going to say S classes all. So this is the item that stores like all the classes they've taken. And we're going to say plus equals S classes current. And then we're going to say S classes, oh, can't get a nursery, there we go, classes current equals empty. And then we'll print an encouraging message of great job this semester. All right, let's go ahead and call it. So we're going to say end semester S, and then we're going to print S. It'd probably be helpful if we had some classes, so let's add that to our student dictionary. We're going to say classes current is CPSC 392, CPSC 230, and CPSC 298. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this with student, print, student, okay. Okay, so I went ahead and added some classes to their current classes, and then let's go ahead and call this. So I'm going to say end semester, oops, student, and then print out student. All right, let's go ahead and run this. And you can see that we updated their name, and then when we said end semester, we moved all their current classes to their list of all of their classes and removed all of their current classes so they can register for the next semester. Next, the two functions we're going to write, and we'll write them together, are major declare and minor declare, which take in the dictionary and a string that tells us what the student wants to be their major. So let's say def major declare S major, and then we'll say S major equals major, so update their major, and then say print your, that needs to be a string, your major is now, and plus their current major. Beautiful, and now we're going to copy and paste this and do the same thing for minor declare. Say minor, 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 and minor. Okay, so now we have two functions, major declare and minor declare, that are going to affect the major and the minor in our student dictionary. Let's go ahead and run these on our student dictionary. So I'm going to say major declare student. Let's say they're an environmental science major. And let's declare minor for them too. We'll say minor declare student, and we'll say their minor is data analytics. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Print out student and run. Okay, so you can see that we have now updated their major and their minor. Their major is now environmental science and their minor is data analytics. Last but not least, we're going to write a function called COVID clear, which is going to take in the student's dictionary and a Boolean survey, which is true if they answered no, that they don't have any COVID related symptoms, and false if they said yes, they do. This is going to change their COVID clear status, which currently is clear, but will now change to either clear if they're fine or not clear if they're not. So let's go ahead and say def COVID clear, taken as a student dictionary, and survey, which is either going to be a true or false. And we're going to say if survey, then S bracket COVID status, or excuse me, I think clear status, there we go, equals clear, else S bracket clear status equals not clear. And then we'll print out thanks for filling out your survey. All right, let's go ahead and call this. We're gonna say COVID clear student, and then print student. Beautiful. All right. Oh, we forgot one argument. We do need to say true or false whether they answered their survey, so we'll say survey equals true. You are totally fine and have no symptoms. All right, let's go ahead and run. Awesome, so now you can see their COVID status was clear and now it is still clear. Let's go ahead and say no, like maybe you have a fever, so survey is false. We'll run this, you can see now their clear status is not clear. All right, that is all I have for you. Hopefully you enjoyed playing around with dictionaries within functions a little bit, and I will see you next time.